Hey everyone, another Cardano news update for you guys. Lots of stories around the Cardano ecosystem. We've got a brand new protocol launching their testnet with Linkage Finance launching that. We also have a few ISPOs I'd like to go through. One from Crashr, a brand new NFT marketplace with some really cool features, and also the PALM ISPO from Palmyra. And I recently did an interview with the team, so make sure you check that out. Links in the top right-hand corner over there. But first off, before I get into all that news updates, I finally got this trophy. Check it out. Hang on, let me get this right. That's upside down. I finally got my ambassador's trophy from 2022. So Katie from the first event, the people that organized the Cardano Summit, the big event planners that they are, happened to be traveling here on the Gold Coast, contacted me, and I picked it up on the weekend from where she was staying in lovely Palm Beach. So thank you so much for first event for getting that over to me, and also the Cardano Foundation for providing that award. And I absolutely love it. Thank you everyone that voted for me as well. Really, really appreciate the support, and it's finally good to actually have that now on my desk. I'll try and mount it behind me somewhere, so that's always in the videos. Anyway, that's out of the way. Happy to have that, but let's get into these news updates. The first one here is a public service announcement, and this one here is around a fake Berry Pool rewards thing. So anyone that was delegated to Berry Pool, the original creator of Nami Wallet, was presented with one of these. So up to 3,000 ADA reward event. Anytime you see something like this where you get free ADA or free assets, whatever it is, for doing absolutely nothing, it's probably a scam. Be aware of it. But this brought up an interesting topic, and this here that you can see on the screen now is how this scam works. So they created a brand new website, berrypool.xyz. You connect your wallet. In this case, Nudes is connecting your Roy. And what it does is it builds the transaction where it will take everything out of your wallet and send it to someone else's address. Now, with the way that Cardano works, you actually have to approve that transaction. You can see a preview of it and everything. So here it says it's claiming, so they just built that into the interface. But when you actually have a look at the transaction itself, well, I'll just pause it here. You can see, okay, 6 ADA is going out. That's kind of common when you're claiming something. You're paying a fee, a small fee. But then down here, you're also sending 3 assets. What 3 assets is it sending? And then what do you get back? You get nothing. You get nothing back. So this here it builds a transaction. It looks at everything in your wallet, builds the transactions, and takes it all so that it can send it to another wallet and start liquidating all your assets. So be aware of this. When you're signing a transaction and having a look at what's going on, here we can see the UTXO, which is a breakdown of what's being transferred. We can see the inputs, which is coming from your wallet. We've got a couple of NFTs, some meme coins, the Dean coin there. Your ADA's going out with those assets. And then the output is going to someone else's address. And that's just taking all of the assets away. So you didn't sign up for this. You're signing up for a possible 3,000 ADA rewards. But in this case, the transaction is just being built and taking all of your assets. Be aware. Watch what you're signing when you're signing something on a website. Thankfully, Cardano wallets, the Cardano transactions work in this way so you can actually see and preview exactly what's going on. Be aware of what you're doing. Learn how to read those UTXOs in your wallet so that you have a better understanding of what on earth is happening. It's finally happening. These type of scams are appearing on Cardano, in the Cardano ecosystem. So it's not good to see. So we need more education around this, and consider this your first piece of education around this type of scam. All right, now with that public service announcement out of the way, we have some other really interesting news. And this one here is from Iagon. So Iagon have released their alpha. This is their alpha of their whole ecosystem, their storage, decentralized storage and subscription platform. Now you have the ability to use their platform in alpha to host websites, to do subscription systems and all sorts of really cool things around it. And I did start having a play around with it. This is a video that goes through the whole process. Let me just play this one quickly for you, and I'll just skim through it so you can see what's going on. But this person here in the demo is uploading all the assets, so the HTML files, the images, the CSS, the JavaScript of the website. They do it quite quickly, actually. And they go through that, they put it onto the Iagon hosting service, decentralized storage. But then after that, this is a cool bit. They attach a domain name to it. So let me just go a little bit further. So this is it. This is the website here. So they've got a domain name attached to this. They're putting in a brand new DNS, which is a domain name service, onto this particular storage setting in Iagon. And then they can go load up that website, and bam, you have cheap hosted website on decentralized storage. Super cool. And we have plans for this. We have already started building a brand new plugin for Cardano Press that takes advantage of Iagon storage so that every WordPress website out there can be hosted by Iagon. Really cool. I can't wait to release that. Iagon need to catch up to where we are so that we can use their API and everything else around it so we can release this thing. We are so close to releasing it. We're just waiting for the final bits from Iagon so that anyone out there that is running a WordPress website can have it powered by Iagon. Well, not powered by Iagon. I should really clarify that. Have the assets for their website stored by decentralized storage powered by Iagon. So you can really reduce that storage cost of your hosting environment and have all those assets put out onto decentralized storage such as Iagon. Majorly cool. Can't wait until that is released. That's a preview for you guys. So anyone that is watching my channel, that's the first time I've ever announced that. So I cannot wait. Iagon are doing some really cool things in terms of crypto, decentralized storage, and bring that real world utility to the crypto and blockchain. Absolutely amazing. Love what they do. Now, this other news story from DEXHunter is really cool. This is super interesting. They're doing buybacks. So it's a way to reduce the supply of the Hunt token within the ecosystem. So when you're purchasing Hunt, you can use it to reduce your fees through using DEXHunter. And I think a huge amount of the transactions are going through DEXHunter at the moment, about 40% or so last time I saw. So anyone that is trading would probably be using DEXHunter to optimize their trades, get the most out of the liquidity that's out there in the Cardano ecosystem. And if you hold Hunt, you reduce those fees. Now, if you hold Hunt, they do the buybacks where they take 50% of the fees generated, will buy back Hunt tokens, and that creates that limitation of supply, that reduction of supply in the ecosystem, meaning that the price of Hunt should go up in theory. That's the mechanics behind it. I don't know if it will, not financial advice, but that's the idea and mechanics around buybacks so that they can reduce the circulating supply of the Hunt token in the ecosystem and keep and sustain that price of the Hunt token. Have that buy pressure within the ecosystem as opposed to a sell pressure. So super interesting. That comes out on the 1st of February. So I suspect if anyone that is trading Cardano native tokens, they would probably be accumulating Hunt token. This is my hunch. They'll be accumulating Hunt token at the moment to take advantage of this and probably sell off the Hunt token at profitable rates in the future. So it's a small total supply as well. So check that one out. If you're a trader, it could be very beneficial for you to at least get those reduced trading fees, but then also have the potential buybacks in the future as well. Now, Empowa are always doing some really cool things, and I love this brand new feature that they've put out on their own marketplace. And this is the ability to use EMP tokens for purchasing NFTs through their ecosystem. So this gives utility to the EMP token, but then also they've put in the tech possible for marketplaces and transactions on Cardano to be not just be paid in ADA, but also paid in other tokens. And I think that is a really cool use case for any token out there to be able to use the token for something else other than trading and speculating, and actually using it to buy things in their platform. So here we can see a full article. They've teamed up with Harmonic Labs. We're using PluTS. So this is all TypeScript powered smart contracts on Cardano. Really cool. So if you're a front-end developer in general and you love TypeScript, you can write smart contracts in PluTS. That is cool. And this is a really good example of a TypeScript smart contract platform where they're using it to pay for their NFTs on their platform through smart contracts using a Cardano native token. So if you ever wanted to learn TypeScript and see how this all works, check out their platform. This is it here. So this is a couple of the example NFTs on their marketplace, and you can go through here. This one's not available for sale, but if it was on this testnet environment, you'd be able to purchase it with the testnet EMP tokens as well. So super cool. Love what the team at Empowa are doing. So congratulations to launching that on testnet. I'm looking forward to seeing it available on mainnet so I can actually start playing around with it as well. Now, if you're playing around in the Ergo ecosystem, another UTXO blockchain, you would have heard of Zengate and also the Rosen Bridge. So the Rosen Bridge are calling for ISPOs and other community members to start running their Rosen Bridge Watcher app. So this will allow for that bridge operations to happen and have assets move over from Ergo to Cardano fluidly because of the Rosen Bridge. Really cool, really interesting that this has gone to this point. It's been quite a journey for the teams working on this. They have a full video library that goes through everything. So if you are interested in running a watcher for this particular bridge, this full decentralized bridge that is integrating two really cool blockchains and more in the future, check out all these videos. All you have to do is watch 13 videos, and they're all really short. So you don't need to spend too much time going through this to understand how to set up a watcher. So if you're a state pool operator already, this should be super easy for you. Go through the process, set up a watcher if you want to be a part of the ecosystem, and watch the integration and interoperability between Cardano and Ergo grow. Now, talking about cross-chain, I thought this was really interesting, and this came across my radar. It was put on my desk from the team at Maestro, and they're working with the Maya protocol to bring over cross-chain assets to Cardano. Now, if you ever used Thorchain is a hugely popular cross-chain asset platform where you can trade assets from one chain to another using it. Now, Maya is a friendly fork of Thorchain. I say friendly because there are vicious or not so friendly forks, such as the Bitcoin forks that happened in 2017, where it forked a different chain based on different ideologies behind where and which direction Bitcoin should go. This one here is a friendly fork because it complements the main chain's ethos and usage. So Maya forked with a fair token launch and double its efficiency of its parent chain, Thorchain, and they're looking at integrating in Cardano natively to the whole protocol. So they need to upgrade Maya protocol to handle Cardano primitives, and then you'll be able to tap into the multi-chain DEX such as ThorSwap or XDeFi and bring in a lot of EVM liquidity and also BTC to Cardano with no KYC in that process. So really cool to see that protocols like this are looking at Cardano and looking at what they need to do to integrate in to open up that liquidity and open up a lot more opportunities, especially with the growing DeFi ecosystem. There's a lot of users in other ecosystems, other chains that are looking for new opportunities to increase their yields and returns. And with the growing DeFi ecosystem in Cardano, opening up those channels will allow those users to come in and look for those opportunities and get potentially more gains. In doing so, they bring in more liquidity, such as ETH, Bitcoin, whatever it is, growing the ecosystem here and growing their gains and helping the interoperability between Cardano and other ecosystems. So Maya protocol, keep an eye out for this one here. They've got a token in their own ecosystem called Cacao. You may want to look into it to see how it could potentially benefit you in the future if you are looking at these cross-chain swaps on Cardano. They do have a lot of documentation up as well. I'll put the links in the show notes so you can learn more about Cacao, their token, and also their roadmap and everything else around the Maya protocol ecosystem. Now, talking about cross-chain, this was I was really disappointed to hear this one. And, you know, I kind of saw it coming. This is Milkomeda's announcement about closing down Algorand, the Milkomeda A1 Algorand chain, sidechain, or no, it was a roll-up. So they are finally closing that because of the lack of activity and the lack of fees that they were generating. And because there's no money in the ecosystem there, what's the point? They need to close it down if there's no interest. Running validators costs money. It costs its servers, its infrastructure, maintenance, and everything else around it. And if you're not generating fees, you might as well just close up shop and move on. Now, this they said it was a hard decision, but yeah, we saw it happening because I work for Blue Shift, and we were trying to build the Algorand index, and we were working with so many different projects in the Algorand ecosystem to try and build this up, get the liquidity needed for really good swaps, low price impact, etc. So you need lots of liquidity. So you need the projects to join in on that and provide that liquidity. And in doing so, it was so hard. There was so little liquidity around in the ecosystem. It was really hard to do. So, you know, if you can't build a index from the top projects that are building on Algorand, it's really hard to keep something like this going. So really disappointing news to hear Milkomeda A1 closing down, but Milkomeda C1, the Cardano sidechain, there's a lot of activity at the moment. And with Tangle Swap launching right now on Testnet, we'll see that launch on mainnet really soon. Massive campaigns being run by the Blue Shift team as well. We're seeing a lot of activity, and the Discord server's going nuts at the moment. So the C1 side of things does look good for now. And hopefully when Palmyra Studios brings in a lot of the gaming ecosystem, we'll see a lot more activity on the Milkomeda side of things there too. The team from Optim Finance are releasing something brand new as well, and this is super interesting. This is taking DeFi to a whole new level, especially on the Cardano ecosystem. So they're proposing a brand new platform, Optim Accounts. There's also Leviathan as well. I didn't even get to cover that in my readings, but they are looking for a way to have proper composable DeFi. And they're solving the problems of concurrency and composability through their brand new solutions of Optim Accounts. So this is a smart contract account. It solves concurrency via a common permissionless network of sequences intercepting intent-based transactions. What on earth does that mean? So they're building a different layer that sits in between Cardano and the users to do some extra transactions. So it allows you to interact with that to build up that DeFi ecosystem. So that's that abstract layer. Now to do this, they need Plutus v3. I didn't even know Plutus v2 was out, but obviously they need upgrades to the underlying smart contracts on Cardano to be able to do something like this. And it sounds like it's actually coming soon. So they're releasing a mainnet beta in the next month. So we should see something by the end of January in regards to this and have the idea and concepts of this down packed. Now, they're deploying it with their brand new platform that they're doing with OADA, and I'll talk about that in a second. So they're not only talking about building an Optim account system, but they're building this for their brand new product and brand new idea and concepts around OADA. And let's get into that right now as well. So OADA is Optim's next brand new product. And now, this is synthetic ADA. And you may think, why on earth do I need synthetic ADA? And this is the good reason here. Why do we need synthetic ADA? When you're in the 2% range of staking yield very soon, you might consider some enhanced synthetic options. So if you're staking ADA at the moment in the Cardano ecosystem, you may have noticed that the ADA rewards are slowly diminishing over time. So when I first started staking ADA, it was around 4.2% for your ADA staked, but now it's diminishing down to like 3.6, low 3s, 3.2s, and soon that will get diminished even further and you will fall into the 2% range. Now, this is how the protocol works, how it was designed, and the price of ADA should be higher to compensate for those decreased amounts of ADA rewards. But that's not the case. So in comes OADA. And this Medium article goes through the entire idea and concept of it. And it took me a little while to understand this, but hopefully I can break this down for you in a really clear manner. So this brand new system composes of trading and staking of that synthetic ADA. Now they're breaking it down into two parts. They have OADA, which is the ADA stablecoin. So it's a brand new synthetic asset that's pegged to the price of ADA. So one OADA is equal to one ADA. It's cheaper than ADA, but pegged to ADA. I don't know why it's cheaper. I don't understand how it is cheaper, but hopefully in the future, I'll get a better understanding of that. Then you have the sOADA, which is the staked version. So you get the yield from that particular token, but not from OADA. So OADA is stripped of staking yield and can be thought of as a trading vehicle. So if you're purely just trading something, if you're purely just using ADA for trading, you would use OADA. If you're wanting staking rewards and yield from it, then you use the sOADA. Now to get the sOADA, you need to first initially buy or create the OADA and then stake it in a vault. So you go create OADA with your ADA assets, then stake it, and then you'll receive the sOADA in return. So you have the option there in regards to having OADA, which you can trade, or the sOADA, which you can stake and lock in for extra staking rewards. Now the price of sOADA could fluctuate because you can trade that. Now there is an exchange rate between the two assets, OADA and sOADA, and this rate is based on total accrued yield into sOADA since Genesis. So as yield accrues within sOADA, it may be worth more than ADA, so that exchange price can change. So you can trade against the staked asset. So super interesting mechanic there. You can start trading against it. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, and this comes into how the yield comes into play for the sOADA. Hopefully I haven't lost you with ADA, OADA, sOADA. I'm getting confused myself sometimes. So in the first iteration, sOADA accumulates yield above the base staking rate by accruing staking rewards from all OADA. So the more OADA in the ecosystem and isn't converted to sOADA, the higher the natural leverage factor on sOADA. So that means if the more people that are giving up their ADA staking rewards, the more of that goes into sOADA itself. So if you're just using OADA for trading, you're giving up your staking rewards, all of that goes to sOADA. So that overall enhances the yield in the sOADA ecosystem. There's also additional yield from catalyst voting. So if it accumulates a massive amount of ADA, that ADA can then be used for voting within Project Catalyst, and then those catalyst rewards will be utilized in sOADA. So there's more ADA backed in the ecosystem, providing more yield for sOADA users. They have a simple formula here to work out the APY for sOADA, and you can see that there on screen if you want to dig into the math behind it all. And they also mention after the initial release, sOADA will integrate other yield strategies to accumulate ADA on behalf of holders. So the more ADA it can accumulate into the amount of sOADA they have, the higher yield returns that are possible. So hopefully I didn't lose you there. Super interesting mechanics. Read over that a couple of times to let it sink in. I had to get a better understanding of it. But let me just recap real quick. You have ADA. You mint OADA with it. You can also stake that for sOADA. If you stake for sOADA, you get the yield. But if you don't, you keep your OADA. You can trade that OADA, but you've given up your staking rewards for everyone else that is staking sOADA. Hopefully that made sense. Interesting mechanics, and if you're into DeFi, please check that one out. I'm looking forward to seeing this one come into play and how much potential liquidity could be locked within their ecosystem around that DeFi play. Right, Optim, really cool stuff. Love to see this grow. Now this one here, I saw this one because Crashr are using Optim bonds for their ISPO. So first off, Crashr ISPO, live now. You can stake to it. You can earn some of their Crashr tokens. Now, if you want to learn what Crashr is, let me give you a quick demo. Crashr is an NFT marketplace where they're taking it to another level. They've added in some really cool features. They've got floor sweeping and some of the other common features that you see in the other NFT marketplaces. But this one here, if you click on one of these, you can see this brand new button here, Add to Cart. So this is like a customized sweeping process where you can go through their entire marketplace. You can go to different collections, different NFTs, add everything to the cart, and then pay for it in one transaction at the end. Super cool. Absolutely love that shopping cart experience for NFTs. So this is just a start. So NFTs is just one thing, but in the future, it could be merchandise, it could be store purchase things, whatever it is. It's just the beginning mechanics of this. They'll compile everything into a shopping cart, write the transactions, and then execute everything on chain. So super excited about that one. Really love what the team at Crashr are doing. Check that one out if you want to learn more about it. Now, I mentioned this in the intro, and this is the PALM token ISPO. So they have launched officially right now as the time of recording this. It's the 11th of, well, the 12th for me, the 12th of December, but the 11th was the change of the epoch and UTC time. And now you can stake to the pools here, the PALM pools, to earn some of these PALM tokens. Now, I haven't gone into what the PALM tokens are, what they do within the Palmyra ecosystem, but there are a lot of people staking already. Within one epoch of announcement, they've managed to get 5.5 million delegation and 2.1 million delegation in their 50% pool. So really good start for Palm 1 and Palm 2. Just keep in mind there are only 2 stake pools, only 2, Palm 1, Palm 2, so watch out for the fakes. Always check the pool ID of these pools to make sure you're delegating to the right ones, or go to the Maestro website. You'll be able to delegate directly to these pools from their platform as well. Links down below in the show notes for you. Now, this one here I thought I'd mention, and this is a post from Wing Riders about the brand new CGI token from Reply ADA. I haven't played around with this one yet, and I don't know too much about it, but from what I understand, Reply ADA is an integration of ChatGPT to Twitter Cardano. So if you're interacting with Reply ADA, you'll be able to invoke ChatGPT in Twitter itself. So interesting integration. I use ChatGPT quite a lot myself. So having it integrated onto Twitter and integrating blockchain into it, I thought was a really good use case. I can't seem to get it working yet, so I might be missing something at this point in time, but I'll play around with it and I'll let you guys know how to use it in the future. So if you're on Twitter and you want to use ChatGPT integration directly into Twitter itself, you can use that Reply ADA, and I'll give you a tutorial on how to use it all. They do have a lot of articles that you can go through so you can learn a little bit more about it. I'll link it in the show notes down below for you. Now, this one here is Linkage Finance, and Linkage Finance have launched their testnet. Finally, they've been teasing us for a little while, and they've done a lot of front-end work in regards to going through and making this work properly. You can see the breakdown of the tokens, what tokens are in this particular portfolio. They've got the light, dark mode, and everything happening there. And I did have a play around with this one too. I tried to make a couple of funds. They're not working for me at the moment, so I don't know if all the functionality is available yet. I did try to create one. I can't create, you can't connect your wallet at the moment, so it's still very early days for this team building in portfolios on Cardano. But I do like the idea and premise of it all. So you can have a look here. If I click on market cap top 3, you can see what this one's made up of. It's made up of AGX, World Mobile Token, and Copy. Now, I just wonder if this is a market cap top 3, does this dynamically change based on what is in the top 3? So if I buy into this particular index, this portfolio of tokens, does the portfolio makeup change as the top 3 positions change all the time? So that's little things and intricacies that I'd love to know, and I need to talk to the Linkage Finance team about that. So it's interesting mechanics. I do like index funds, etc. I do work for Blue Shift, so I do understand the importance of indexes and portfolios on DeFi, and absolutely love seeing more protocols launch. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. It's got some interesting mechanics here, and an interesting way of implementing portfolios and indexes for Cardano. Now, the Cardano Foundation are launching products. Now, this is a brand new one, and it is an identity wallet. Who would have thought? I did not realize that the foundation were even working on this. This is a brand new identity wallet that complies with W3C standards, so that's absolutely awesome. But let's have a look at what they've written here. So, introducing the identity wallet developed by the Cardano Foundation, a W3C compatible mobile wallet that manages self-sovereign identities across Cardano and other blockchain networks. Key benefits: supports multi-identity and credential standards, securely manages digital assets, seamless interaction with dApps on Cardano, lowers entry barrier for new users, interoperability across ecosystems, integrates key events recipe infrastructure, Curry, for enhanced interoperability. Really, really interesting. I had absolutely no idea this was being worked on. You can see it here now. I might actually install this and give it a try. This is pretty big news. The Queensland government here have been trying to roll out their digital identities for driver's licenses, and I have to say that rollout was terrible. Server crashes and everything else around it. I don't even know if they're using the proper W3 standards for digital identities, or if they're even employing self-sovereign identities where I control my identity and not the government third-party servers controlling and managing that. And with other platforms and other companies here in Australia being hacked and losing up to 10 million identities of their customers, it's kind of worrying. But having it in a self-sovereign manner where it's controlled by the user's wallet is very, very cool. And I love what the Cardano Foundation are working on here. This is just a foundational stepping stone for a lot of other companies to use this kind of tech and technology. So big ups to the Cardano Foundation for releasing this. I'll do a video on this, and I will try and get someone on board to do an interview about this so we can learn more about how this particular wallet app works and how self-sovereign identity falls into it and everything else. Now, the very last news story I'd like to talk about is from Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe, and they've put together this. This is super cool. This is their playable characters, that's toolheads, duck degens, and then we have Cardano Press Wapus. They've integrated in these playable characters into their metaverse. It's in development, so it's not final, but this is coming all very soon. So you'll be able to play all those characters, all those really cool NFT projects that are out there, including our own Wapus. So super excited. Thank you so much, guys, for working on this and making it available in their ecosystem. We'll see this in other ecosystems too in the future. But how cool is that? The Wapus. Let me just fast forward and you can see the Wapus in action here. And I think I can full screen this. Yeah, that's just a glimpse for you. So that's coming really soon. Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe, KWIC. Thank you so much for working on that. And that is it. End of another Cardano news updates. We have lots of stories there. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving me that thumbs up. Click subscribe. Click that notification bell. All that interaction really helps. Leave a comment, share it out, do all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.
Trying to counterpick. Easy down the front. Where's your ankles? There we go. Yep, gotcha. Come forward. Double jump right hand to get in there. Yeah. 10 seconds.